I read 10 books in February. I found some gems. I cannot wait to talk about this with you guys. So let's get into it. Starting off with one of my favorites from this month and one of my favorite books ever now. It is called Within Me by Caitlin Reitmeyer. And when I tell you guys, this book was absolutely life-changing. This book was such a beautiful reminder to stay vulnerable and kind-hearted in a world where it is very easy to turn the other way. And I just loved reading about her journey, her perspective. At this stage of my life, I have never resonated with a book's message more than this one. It was just a perfect reminder for where I'm at right now, and I think that this is a perfect reminder for everybody. Okay, next I read Eudaimonics by Warner Gimnes, 22 Habits of the Happiest People. So this book explores happiness. This book explores what it means to have a satisfying life. The author talks about his life, his experience with happiness, what he's learned on his journey. It was such a great self-help book. This book is inspired off Stoic philosophy, so I learned so much. Such a helpful book everybody should read. Not only that, I loved the illustrations in this book. Just added like the perfect touch, and it was absolutely beautiful, this whole entire book. Okay, next I read The Goldilocks Genome by Elizabeth Reed Aden. This is a medical thriller. It was so good. It follows this doctor who basically starts researching and investigating all of these inexplainable deaths. This book had me on the edge of my seat until the very end. I was so invested in this book. Not only was this a fantastic story, but I really appreciated the light that it shed on the typical psychiatric treatment processes that are happening today. If you guys are looking for a phenomenal, accurate medical thriller, I would pick this up. Okay, next I read Good Love by Brandon Windsor. This was the cutest romance. It was right in time for Valentine's Day, which was actually perfect. It follows this girl who isn't the happiest of where she's at in her life, and she gets this opportunity to become like a matchmaker. Such a cute and unique rom-com. It was very different than anything I've ever read, which was much appreciated. Rom-coms can be quite repetitive. This was so unique, so funny. I loved the characters. I loved all the television show and movie references in this. It made my heart so happy. But if you guys are looking for like an underrated, amazing rom-com, this is the one. Okay, next I read Storm by Noam Leon, and I first have to say this is one of the coolest covers I've ever seen. I'm obsessed. I had a feeling that I would really like this book, and I was very much correct. It covers topics like mental health, addiction. It follows this guy who's studying art in Berlin, and it basically follows his mental health, his struggles, his journey. It was definitely a heavier read, but I enjoyed it so much because I feel like it was such beautiful writing, and I feel like this is an accurate representation about what a lot of people are feeling, especially in their 20s and trying to find their way. And I just think that this is a very well written book, and I loved it. Next, I read The Story of Maya Angelou. I absolutely love her. This is just like a really cute, like small, basically like kids biography. I've always looked up to her, and I was just like, that is a cute little quick read, and that is exactly what it was. It's just the perfect little palate cleanser. And again, I will read anything about Maya Angelou. So next was The Road Sometimes Taken by Ambar Cordova, and this was the cutest romance road trip slash childhood friends romance story. I think one of my favorite tropes ever is friends to lovers, so I absolutely love when it's like childhood friends and then in the later years they become. I love when characters in a book are like trying to fight their feelings off for each other and trying to like ignore it and act like they aren't actually in love with each other. And this book delivered. It was such a cute romance story, but it also had so many amazing messages of like healing and discovering yourself, and I just absolutely loved it. Okay, next I read Prince of Hearts by Regan Fordermalt. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Fordermalt. That's cute. But this is a poetry book, and you guys know I'm obsessed with some poetry. I feel like this book speaks to the girls or the guys or whoever who's going through a lot of heartbreak and trying to get through those feelings. And I feel like this book speaks to all my lover girls, so all the girls who like hope and pray and wish for that kind of love. I feel like this poetry spoke to that a lot, and it was just very beautiful. I loved the illustrations in it. It was just chef's kiss. Next, I read Love Beyond Flames by Michael Santo. This was an incredible read. This takes place in 14th century Perugia, and it was an absolutely fantastic read. It is a bigger read, however, it is so worth it. Such captivating characters, such intriguing plot. I genuinely took my time with this because it was so good. I did not want it to end. It follows this man who is basically trying to uncover all the corruption that has happened in this little mysterious city, and there's also some romance in there. I absolutely loved these characters. They made this book. Also, this writing is incredible. It is so well paced. It is so well detailed. You feel like you're actually there in the story with the characters. It was absolutely fantastic. Last, I read Watching a Different Type of Time Travel by Jeffrey J. Levin. This is the first book. There is going to be a second book. Okay, for people that love time travel, art heist, FBI agents, all that kind of spiel, this book has it all. Follows your everyday guy who watches a documentary about a crime that happened 50 years ago. Then it happens to be that he can time travel back and forth, but only to solve this crime. It's such an intriguing story. It's fast-paced. You don't want to put it down. You're so invested in the story. I cannot wait to read the second book in the series. I'm so excited. Those are all the books I read in February. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was such a great month of reading, and I cannot wait to see what I read next month, and I will see you guys in the next video.